before Kelly tells me to. Right? I did it right this time. Okay. And then I definitely want to check in with Gloria and see how you guys are doing in your process, and we can kind of do that later. Okay. Let's see. Share screen. Okay. So, table one. Last week, remember we did table two, which just talks about all your faculty members. This particular table is all the departments and programs that are going to be involved with your application. So generally in table two, if you recall, it asks, okay, my my wonderful internet went off. Can you guys hear me now? No, no, you guys are frozen. It's nice. Can you guys hear me now?
Can still hear you.
Yes, we
Yes.
hear you now, Jill. You're back.
Sorry, like I couldn't hear you guys. So, okay. I love my internet. I really do. I don't know how many times I have to tell my husband there's an issue with it, but he doesn't listen to me. Um, okay, wait, hold on one second. Um, Shoot, someone's IMing me about the thing. Okay, so where were we? Now my record. Oh wait, am I? Okay, we're gonna resume. Okay, shoot, am I recording now? I can't tell.
I think you are.
Okay, because it says okay. Um. Anyway, so last week we talked about departmental, the faculty members. And when you're in that faculty table, if you can visualize that in your head, you always have to put down the primary department for each faculty member. And that really drives your table one. So you can see, okay, if I have faculty from bioengineering and chemistry and biology, I need to list those programs, if it's a graduate program or department, in table one. So you're not going to want to put, participating departments as computer science and engineering here if you're not, none of your faculty are in CSE, right? Kind of makes sense, right? How the two intertwine. So basically, data table one is just showing the environment of your program. Which programs are going to be involved with the training? Do you have the critical mass of trainees and faculty? So not just do you have, the expertise there, but do you have enough trainees to in your pool to make it a competitive program? And then data table six, which we'll be talking about in a couple of weeks, that um, collects all the applicant and entrant information for these departments. And let's just say today that that's chemistry and bioengineering and biology, those three departments. So table six is going to coincide with this in a kind of like a parallel fashion. You're going to be collecting the statistics for those three departments that you're listing here in data table one. So the neat thing with the January 25th changes is that you only have to give data on the training stages you're working on. So if you're working on just postdoc program, you just have to give postdoc numbers. If you're just doing pre-docs, you just have to do pre-doc numbers. It used to be, even if you were doing a pre-doc program, you would still have to report on the postdocs, and you don't have to do that anymore. Of course, if you have a blended program or it's pre-docs and postdocs, then you're going to have to put, fill out the entire table. So it's a little bit easier now. So it is broken up into two parts. So you can see part one and part two. For this, let's just say for this example, we're just doing a pre-doc program. So we're just going to have to do this top section here, and we won't have to do anything here. So we're going to be, well, I kept saying, it says here, biochemistry is like, there's the Department of Biochemistry, and then you can see that there's programs, like especially for a pre-doc, there's going to be a graduate program versus, say, a department. So, like for example, at UCSD, we have a neurosciences graduate program and we have a neurosciences department. So not all of your faculty may be involved and have a grad student per se. So not all of your faculty that are going to be in neurosciences may be on your training grant or vice versa, right? So it's important to put like, is this a program or a department? Okay, so this is actually looking at the table. You're going to obviously list your program, and then you're going to list the total amount of faculty right now in your department. So, like in the Department of Chemistry, we have 45 faculty. Now, some people have asked me, like, how do you define faculty? Well, are you going to say assistant project scientist? Usually I keep it to, the professor, assistant professor, associate professor, that category. Some people might, add in different, based on, the definition of faculty, but that's usually where I kind of keep my counting to. And then so for the next box, that column 3, the participating faculty, only 14 faculty out of the 45 in the Department of Chemistry will be involved with this program. For whatever reason, the other, 30, 31 will not be involved. So you're looking at exactly how many faculty from the Department of Chemistry out of your total of your 45. So in your data table 2, which lists all your faculty members, you should have 14 faculty members that are identifying with the Department of Chemistry. So it's good to, cross-check and make sure, if a reviewer went through there and double check that you actually have 14 faculty and not 26 faculty in biochemistry. And yes, of course, they might have dual departments, but you can only list one department. So you always want to put the most dominant department or the one that's most relevant for your application. So for the next box, it's going to say total pre-docs or postdocs. And in this case, we're talking about a pre-doc example, right? So it's going to be the entire amount of pre-docs in the total Department of Chemistry, whether they are eligible for the grant or not, total amount. And this is a very low number. It's a very bad example because it says 38. Because I know the Department of Chemistry on campus, we have probably 220 PhD students. So that's not a good example, but I think you get the idea. So let's suppose here there's 38 pre-docs in the Department of Chemistry. And then how many out of that 38 pre-docs, how many of them on an HHS award? And that means it's a T32, an F32, or yeah, or F31, something like that. And the best way to check, I just go out to NIH Reporter and I just do, and I can do that as an example. I just go to NIH Reporter, put in UC San Diego, and then I put in, F31s and see how many there are from the Department of Chemistry. And then I also keep records as far as the counts of how many current training grants we have on the campus with the slotting amount. So you could also look at that and see like how many do we have in the Department of Chemistry. So let me actually do that as a demonstration. Just some of you may or may not be familiar with Uh, okay. NIH reporter is thinking here. Of course it doesn't want to work. Um, okay, let's see. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so what I did here, oops, is I just put in NIH reporter. I should have done that, not off screen, but on screen. So you can see, but what I just did for the edit, for the search criteria, I just put in UC San Diego, and then I put in F31 fellowships for any pre-doc fellowships. So you can see here, it doesn't say department, but when you go to export it, you can see uh, the department. Where is it? Funding organization, there's the department. I'll go ahead and put uh, application ID, project title. That's probably about all we need for an example. Okay, opens up over here. Then you can see, okay, and we can easily sort, and then we can see how many of our projects are in chemistry. Whoops, filter. And it looks like there's none in chemistry. That's interesting. Maybe that was a bad example. Hey, let's use biology as an example. So then we can see, okay, we have 5F31s in the Department of Biology. So we would need to count those as, 5 awards. Plus, we're going to need to look at how many T32 slots there are. So as far as the T32s, um, let me show you grab my spreadsheet over here. Where is it? There it is. So this is a spreadsheet that I keep at UC San Diego that lists all of our training grants on the campus. We have 66 training grants right now, or 65, should I say? 66. And then I put in here the department. And basically, I just pull this information right out of Reporter as well. So you can do this for, whatever campus you're on UCSF. You don't necessarily have to have this data, but it's helpful. So let's see how many slots we have in biology. So I crossed this one out because this one just ended. And then we have 2 other programs that have, one has no postdocs on it or no pre-docs. The other one has 30. So we have 30 pre-doc slots on T32s, and then we have, what do we say, 5 F31s. So going back to um, this table, this number, what did I just say? It would be 35. That would be 35. So obviously, like, biology probably has, 220 grad students. So 35 of them, 5 of them are on F31s. And then there's 30 slots on a T32. So I hope that makes sense for everybody. Um, Again, it's not going to be perfect because maybe one of those slots out of the 30 slots went to somebody in medicine, right? Their home department's in medicine. But technically, the slot was given to biology. So it's a little, it's not going to be 100% perfect. But that you just do the best you can, right? So for the next box there, we're going to see how many pre-docs are with these 14 participating faculty. Again, you need to go back to that table too. Remember, we got all the mentor records for all your faculty. And if you've got 14 faculty in the Department of Chemistry, you need to look and see how many current pre-docs they have and add all that number up from these 14 different faculty. So you can see there's 12 pre-docs across 14 faculty. So every lab has at least 1 grad student and 2 labs have 2 grad students, something like that, or maybe some have none, right? So, and in this total here, you can include non-citizens, even though that they aren't eligible to be on the training grant, you can include them in that total. Now, the next one, you don't include them. Doesn't make sense, right? So, I mean, it does, it doesn't, but it does. So this one, you can see the keyword here is eligible pre-docs that are with those same faculty. So you can see here, okay, if 12 are the total amount of pre-docs and those 14 faculty members, and only 6 of them are eligible, you can see you can discern six are non-citizens, right? So only six of them are, you know, residents or permanent nationals or whatever the name is. So you can see the numbers there. And then this one is training grant eligible pre-doc supported by this grant. So whatever grant you're currently working on, say for the Department of Chemistry, um, you can see, okay, we have, two of our slots are taken up by two students in the Department of Chemistry. And then there's four slots in neurosciences. So we have six slots total on this pre-doc application. Say, let's just say this is a renewal. So obviously this, if this is a new application, you wouldn't be filling this out. And then this last one is for R90s, which we don't have any programs like that at UCSD. So I just tell people to, but you may have one at your institution. So I hope that was not as confusing. The one thing, I like to tell people is when you're doing these tables, well, at least like when I was working in the office, like I always had a physical hard paper copy of the instructions like on my desk all the time because you always forgetting which table non-citizens, which table, wait, which column has citizens you can include. So, or like print the slides out, so you can remember. Because to me it's a lot to remember. So I like to point out that when you see the word TGE or the acronym TGE, it means training grant eligible. And so that's a US citizen or non-citizen national and a permanent resident. So basically any non-citizens, asylum seekers, they are not eligible to be on the training grant. So one thing that people like, I get this question a lot, is when you're putting all these numbers in extract, it doesn't give you a chance to total them up in the normal way. So you have to go to this separate screen. So I just wanted to point that out. Also, as far as like a spreadsheet, I mean, you could go through and count, like, okay, count all your 14 faculty and add them up by hand. But what I like to do, that organizing spreadsheet that I gave you guys as a tool a couple weeks ago, there is a tab on there. You can just go ahead and put in how many pre-docs the faculty have. It kind of totals everything up for you, makes it a little bit easier. Um, yeah. So does anybody have questions on table one? Like, where do you find this data, right? Because I'm gonna ask the question for you. What I've been doing lately, and let's see, we're trying to figure out how many faculty are in the Department of Chemistry. So I just go out to Chat GPT usually and say, how many faculty in the Department of Chemistry at UCSD? And let's see. And we also at UCSD we have Triton GBT, so you can try the Triton GBT. Okay, here as of 3 years ago, the Department of Chemistry had 65 faculty members and then 10 teaching professors. So those might be lecturers, something in a different category. That's a kind of a basis, right? We're going to assume it's 65 faculty members, and then I usually just go to the chemistry website. Um, and look there. And usually they all have their pretty faces on here and everything. So then you can count here. I'm not going to sit there and bore you guys and count each one, but you could obviously count yourselves. Sometimes it's really nice and they say the number for you. But this would be my, instead of trying to track someone down in HR to get you this number, honestly, this is the quickest way to do it, in my opinion. It seems kind of uh, mundane. Now it says my internet is unstable again.
Yeah, Jill, we lost you for a couple minutes. I kind of don't even know where it interrupted you. Like a
Okay.
minute.
Okay. So I was saying that it seems kind of like rudimentary how to get numbers for each department. But I honestly, I'll just, were you guys with me? And I just go out to Chat GBT, and then I just go out to the chemistry website. Um, I don't know. Am I sharing this screen right here? Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you were sharing that screen. We could see that.
Okay. So yeah, so then I would just count how many you have, based on this screen and looking at your chat GBT. Sometimes this comes in correctly, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, that's where I come up with the numbers. Same thing with the grad students. Usually they list all their grad students here. So then you can see, okay, how many graduate students do I have? Um, um, I'm not going to find that right away, but usually you can find out how many grad students. Let's see. You guys could do this on your how many graduate PhD students, because we don't want to count master students in that. Oh, my computer. Okay, 300 grad students. Now, I think it's including master students and joint doc students. So we would have to look and delve into that because we don't want to include master students. We only want to include PhD candidates here. And JDP is, can you guys hear me? Okay, I see people moving. Can you guys hear me still?
We can
Yes,
hear you now.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys gotta keep me, if you can't hear me. So yeah, I think this is a good resource, but then also just, looking out on the web is your best way to find numbers for these. For the HHS numbers for let's see. Sorry, I keep switching around. For these HHS numbers, this is what that demo I just did, going out to NIH Reporter, looking to see how many T32 slots you have, or I say F31 slots you have on the campus by doing that quick NIH Reporter. The only problem with Reporter is it doesn't, if you pulled a T32 report, it's not going to show you how many slots per for per training grant. And that's where, like, as an institutional person, I collect all that data and I know exactly how many pre-doc slots on each grant. So hopefully, your institution does as well. So, okay. Um, Questions on that? Anybody hear me? No?
I can, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, it's going off.
No,
Uh,
no, we can hear you. I'm just thinking I don't have any questions at the moment.
of course. And like you probably have like 15 things you need to ask me, Corinne, but
Not right now. We're such in the beginning stages of just getting bio sketches in, and their deadline isn't until like the end of this month. So my April will be very busy.
so I've been meaning to touch base with you. So you're working for the 525 deadline, right, Corinne?
Correct.
Okay, so remember you're not collecting biosketches. They have to do their biosketches in Science CB.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Okay.
But Takaki is collecting other he sent a big email out requesting a lot of information, and he had instructions for the faculty to fill out their bio sketches. Yeah. He just set a deadline to faculty for March 25th.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're clear.
Yeah, sorry.
It's
Yeah.
like sketches and supposedly this I don't know, by the end of this month, we're going to hear if that's still a go. From what I understand from
Mm,
people that I've heard from is maybe they will, make that deadline later in the year that we won't have to use Science CV. But right now, yes, we have to use the Science CV for biosketches as of 5/25. So
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
a little bit of a pain. Um, I noticed that some people, like I know, is it the what's our family medicine department, they are actually like, telling their faculty, hey, add, our admin as a delegate. And then that way that person can go in and, make sure the science CV is correct. So,
Oh, interesting.
that might be helpful if, they can add you as a delegate. But the interesting thing to remember there is you're not adding a delegate in ERA Commons, you're adding them, the PI would be adding you as a delegate in my NCBI, which is where the Science CV is housed. So yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
But I do have, I'm working on this one project right now, and as soon as I get out of that one, I'm gonna work on, I do have an old training, on Science CV that we did, and it looks to me like nothing's changed. And we did that training like 5 or 6 years ago. The screenshots might be slightly different, but we do have a training on it. And especially walking through that delegation part, because that can be a little tricky. Just logging into that stupid system is tricky, in my opinion.
Jill,
So,
let me ask you a question because I've been trying to work in Science CV since December, right? And it actually was a direct Science CV link, but literally a couple of days ago, the link, now the only time when you search a Google search, it takes you directly to NCBI. So now the only way, it looks like the only way to go through Science CV and edit a bio is through NCBI. And the delegates that are in NCBI already, so like I'm delegated to every one of our PIs.
oh,
So
that's good.
it's brand new. It's access. Like I said, I was in December, I was trying to access Science CV and I was able to like create a new bio, but it wasn't the same format as the common form. But a couple of days ago, trying to try again, and this happened again in January and again beginning of February. But then last week we logged in. It was me and my boss, and we couldn't access Science CV. So we did a Google search and it took us to NCBI. And in NCBI, it lets you create a new bio. But do you remember in Science CV, there was a whole bunch of options? There was the other support option. It was add
Sorry,
like
sketch. I can,
additional stuff. None of that is in NCBI. So I'm really curious to see how they're rolling this out because we can't even tell if the bio is going to be in the common form or not.
no, I trust me, because every time I go to log into this thing, it's different. But I just logged in really fast through NCBI, and you can add in, your information here. Um, but yeah, there used to be an option, right? Like, okay, so I
And it
think
used
that,
to take you to Science CV's like completely separate website,
yeah.
but that's gone now.
Yeah, and then you have to link to, so I know key personnel have to have the ORCID ID, right? But if as a participating faculty member, they're not considered key, but um, usually they should all have one anyway, but not always. And then if you want to like click to link to your ERA Commons account and it can pull things off your profile. But the problem is nobody updates your profile. So um I don't know. It's going to be hell to pay on this one, if you want my opinion. This is going to be ugly. Yeah. And I can't imagine they're going to continue to go down this path for 5/25, especially with everything that's going on with all the NIH websites right now. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Hi,
Every
Jill. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
My PI, we're dealing with a renewal and it's coming up pretty quickly, and we just submitted the RPPR.
Mhm.
So a couple of questions was like, so once you submit RPPR, is it pretty sure that all the information in the RPPR will be carried over to the renewal, or are there any like, oh, you shake your head, I'm worried now.
No, you mean for the table 8? Or
Yes, table
yes,
8.
when you go in to extract
Can I
and
share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at? Because I sometimes get confused as to my view.
Mhm,
So this is my
mhm,
Eros Commons extract.
okay.
This
And
is
there's
the grant
your
finalized.
okay.
Okay.
So go ahead and click that ellipsis. There you go.
Hmm.
Now, just for your information, it says above that, don't click it, but it says unfinalized RPPR. So obviously you guys have already finalized your RPPR tables, right? So if you
Correct.
click continue RTD for renewal,
Hmm.
and if you haven't already transferred, copied, you could go to your trainees, participating trainees.
Oh, that's right. Copy this one.
Yeah, and but remember, if you've updated something in here and you're going to go
Oh,
ahead and copy like from year 5, it's going to override anything that's in there right now.
oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so we have to be very careful to make sure
Yeah,
that
just
in
make
case,
sure, more than likely, like if you guys just submitted your
right?
RPPR, it's the bet, if you're okay to copy everything over. No one's probably
Got it.
gone and updated. So yeah, you can go ahead and probably copy over.
I'm not
Um,
gonna touch that because my PI said she's gonna kind of handle the trainee stuff because she did the whole RPPR on her own. I'm just involved for the renewal. I have another
okay.
RPPR that I have to do with a bigger one. But for this purposes, I want to make sure the renewal that there isn't anything that is really like wonky and whatever that I need to keep an eye on. I'm pretty much going to be doing a lot of the participating faculty, which are already here,
Okay.
but there's nothing I need to like change. This is all the participating faculty, and I just want to like
Hmm.
ask you guys. Apparently, for the renewal, there's an option to do this outside of Era Commons, but like create our own tables like in a Word document and attach it. But the PI was asking, should we do that, or should we just go and enter everything, as tedious and time consuming it is, do it in do it in extract right here?
Yeah, you just collect the data in emails or however you decide
Right.
to collect data survey
Hmm.
and then hand enter it. And that's why, like, remember I used the example of the analogy of climbing up Mount Everest, right?
That's right.
Just,
That's right.
just even
A
if
little
you
bit at a
just,
time.
yeah, just a little bit every day. And so it doesn't
That's right.
overwhelm you. And so,
That's
yeah,
right.
I usually, as people respond, I just go in, okay, click on them, and then hopefully update it, everything, if you get all the information.
And then I
But
said, yeah.
but
So
I mean,
that,
there is a way. See that at the
mhm,
very bottom, this is upload participating faculty.
yeah.
It's very difficult to do that. And by the time
Mm.
you figure out how to actually do that CSV file, you might
Oh,
well have just gone in and
I
updated.
see. I see. I was wondering if there's any
That's
shortcut
just
to be
my
found.
opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no
So
shortcuts in this world when the era commons renewals for sure. So just literally go like, for example, I'll use one that my colleague Svetlana she's actually the helping with the GI. That's her PI,
mhm,
but that's an overlap for us.
okay.
So I'm kind of using this. So pretty much I'm gonna just go in and literally go through each of these sections
Mhm,
and enter the
exactly.
information. There really isn't anywhere else I need to update for the faculty information.
No, all your faculty
This is it.
information. Yeah, all your faculty information in extract right here. It's going to
Mhm.
populate, table 2 and table 4. Um,
Got it.
so
But I
so
want to
all
enter
this,
this
all
too.
that stuff right there at the very top, that's going to help populate data table 2.
They have it. Okay, so I want to make sure I am entering the rank. I am entering all of this stuff up here. That's
Mhm.
blank right now.
Yeah. And then, okay, so for degree, it says
Yeah,
Doctor of Medicine. Then if you scroll over, it says include in RTD.
included on it. Oh, so click that.
You got to make sure you click that because if you
Oh,
don't,
that's so
then it's not
important.
going to show
Okay.
up.
Very easy to sort of miss in the grand scheme of things
And
when
then,
you're on
okay,
this
so let's
page.
check out the research support. This is probably NIH yep, those are 2 NIH grants. And that
Hmm.
is not editable. You have to go
That's
with
right.
This is coming straight out of NIH reporters. You have to just
Mm,
leave that. And
mm.
then I think we've talked about if you scroll down the mentoring records, that usually has to come from the PI. There's no imaginary database we have that keeps that data. So I don't know if your program is pre-docs or post-docs or both, but
So
you're gonna have to fill in that
let me
information.
just see, because I want to do this like a real live example. I'm
Sure,
wondering if this is helpful for
100%.
others. It is helpful for me. I know it's helpful for Svetlana. We've talked about this, but I've been collecting all their stuff. So I
Mhm.
want to just kind of, I'm wondering, am I like not asking for all the right information? Because I had this form that I was asking them to fill out.
Okay.
So see, he's asking, he pretty much told me that there's zero, he confirmed that there's zero pre-docs and three postdocs, and Svetlana's on the call, and I think she's still on the call, but hoping that that's the same number she has. So we're saying that we're entering these numbers in here, right?
Yeah. So, but the problem is they only gave
Okay.
you half the information. She's
I
saying,
know. So that's what I'm like, shoot, I want
so did
to
you download the
confirm.
faculty email that I sent, or I have that sample of a
You
faculty email?
know, I didn't because I had already sent them the
Okay.
form
Well,
and
and that's fine, but maybe you should compare them because it's collecting all those emails show everything that you need to collect. And
okay, okay.
if you're not if you might want to compare it to however what method you're using because if you're not collecting the data, yeah.
So this is what I have before I even got to your email. So I think it's the same stuff. This is
It
what I
is. I mean, the bottom part would just be a table. I would have sent it as just a table, and not, like that.
oh, I see. Instead of this thing.
But I mean,
Got
like
it.
I
Okay,
said,
your email has the table. I see.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the first time you're doing it, so you're gonna have some bumps in the road.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah. So you
Totally.
have, and then that organizing spreadsheet. Did you download that? Because then that will show you exactly like also everything that you need to ask for. Um,
I did.
and
I think I'm
yeah,
sort of
making
in the
sure.
trenches of stuff right now. And to be honest, I didn't go into like I've already got what I already got. I didn't want to go back and redo some of the things. So I'm hoping that I didn't miss any crucial things. But because this is again one of the little hats I'm wearing. I'm trying to like
Yeah.
cut corners a little bit and go straight to where I need to go. But obviously don't want to
Yeah, I just
miss things.
the only thing I worry about is if you're not collecting that data and then it's going to come down to,
Yeah.
well, how do I get that data, right? So maybe
Mhm.
at this
Well,
point you
ask
can
them for bio
compare
sketches.
the
I've
two.
asked them for their personal statement. We're asking them for any other grants they're on. And then we ask them for, their other support pages. Do you
So
think they're missing?
it's okay to ask for your other support pages, which is like, your current and pending, but remember the amounts on there are not, you need the annual direct costs for those grants, not the total project costs. So those numbers that you see on the other support are not the correct numbers.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Okay.
So you need
That's a big
to,
update.
so this is why, like, this is why when I usually go in and NIH reporter and or extract, if you've added them already to extract, which you could go to that screen. What
Mhm.
I would do is when I sent the email out, I would just copy and paste. Okay, I have these two grants. You don't need to tell me about these two. Just
Mhm.
list your foundational grants or, non-NIH grants for me. Um,
Okay.
you know
Okay.
what I mean? And then that way they don't have to, you kind of give them
Mhm.
some information, right? And they may say,
So
oh,
this
I
is
have,
what I would have showed them. I would have said, hey, like a screenshot. This is what I already have.
yeah. Or you know what I do is I just say, can you confirm this for me?
Can you confirm
Make it,
this? But in addition,
in
provide the
addition, do you have anything else that you need to share with me? Now, I don't know, like UCSF, like, do you guys have an internal database where you can run, a book of business for each, faculty
non.
member? I don't know if that's something that you could do.
They're trying to get us some support with that. I think we might have some ways to do that. Maybe that coming down the pipe. I don't think it'll be in time for my renewal next,
Hmm.
pretty much end of April. She wants to finalize this. for a May submittal. But so
Oh, you're cutting out, or I'm cutting out. Hello? Hello?
oh, you're
Right.
back, Jill. There you
Yay!
go.
I know, what a shocker. Right.
So sorry, I was kind of going on about like the what you were referring to. That's not a report I can pull on my own. It has to be sort of somebody in a central
Yeah.
role, like
Maybe. Yeah. It depends on, access and stuff to
I see.
grant information. Like I said, I'm an enabler and I like to give that as much information to the PI and say, okay, here's your NIH information. Can you verify that? Because the more information that you kind of spoon feed them, the
Mhm.
quicker they're going to get back to you. Because if they have too much shit to
That's
fill
right.
out, excuse me,
That's right.
you're not gonna get quick responses.
That's right.
So I can just say from 10 years experience, if you make them fill out too much stuff, if you can at least list all their grants and say, hey, can you confirm and verify the annual direct costs?
Yeah.
Um, it makes it a little bit easier for them. That's the only thing I can say. And trust me, sending out emails it seems very inefficient. You should be able to do this in a database, but
Yeah,
I don't have the
we
tool.
don't have that capability. You
Yeah.
guys are much more advanced in that world. UCSD and UCSD, we don't even have a centralized anything.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
actually, it's used to. You guys
Yeah, that's
used to
right.
have
That's
a
right.
nice
Used
training
to.
grant office. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Before
just a
my
bummer
time.
that um they don't
So
have.
I'm on the right track for most things, but it seems like there's that other big. Now here's the other thing that my PI said. Apparently there are other obviously another department, immunology, I think she mentioned, that they just did their renewal, and I think they had to have that same number. So her thought was, well, if we get in a pickle, can we just use one that was done within the last 4 months? Is it going to change that drastically?
You mean for like mentoring records or something?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, 100%. And I do that. I offer that for my people at UCSD. If I know that someone's submitting a grant,
Mhm.
especially if they're for the same deadline too, biology and chemistry, there's a lot of overlap in faculty there. Then, absolutely, I share the information. Um, across the board, even if they
Right.
submitted like 6 months ago, usually like if it's a January submission to a May, they're
Right.
not adding too many. Grad
Right.
students usually just join once a year, right?
Mhm.
So, or you could send them that information and say, can you just verify this? And they'll be like, yep, ding.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Okay. Got it. Okay, thank you. I know I'm not sure if other people have questions, but I always
yeah.
have questions.
And like I said, it's a learning process
It
because
is.
yeah, it's and what methods work. I'm just saying what methods work for me. Something may,
Mhm.
work different for you. So,
Yeah, no, I get it. Thank you so much for the support. This is always so great.
oh, my pleasure. Okay, let's see. Lee, did you get your RPPR submitted? Don't know if she's on. She unmuted herself, but we're just going back and forth. Oh, I will hop off. Thanks so much. Okay, Evelina. Okay, Gloria, did you have questions for me? Because I know you have a deadline coming up.
Hello.
Hello.
Um, so yes, I do, but there are PPR questions, if that's
Oh,
okay.
sure. That's absolutely fine.
So we're working on submitting the RPPR for one of the training grants. But we have a publication that's non-compliant.
Mhm.
So I was wondering, I see that it's still okay to submit it. We just have to make sure that it becomes compliant as soon as possible, correct?
Yep. Yep. So
Okay.
I would, if I were you, I'd try to get that, just get it submitted, even if it's not compliant, and then you can fix it after. In my opinion, you're going to get sent something called a PRAM, which is, I don't know what that acronym stands for. But yeah, then you could just submit a, they're going to automatically send you something that's saying, okay, you have to fill out the PRAM. And then I also, just so you know, I don't know if you've been through that process before, Gloria, but on my website, under the publications training, there's a bunch of videos. And part 4 is just about RPPR and compliance. So that way you could go in there and check it because there's different ways it could be uncompliant. It could be in the NIM system, it could be not having the grant number. It's like a troubleshooting process. So I
Okay.
just threw that in there for you, maybe, and that might help you. Again, I don't know. Sometimes these websites are just not working right now. So, like the Trinity Diversity websites are completely down. I don't know if these publication websites are working. So,
Okay, perfect. And I think that might be it for now. I did confirm that my renewal is actually going to be in September and not in May
which one is this?
for carrying
Karen is
in September. Yes.
okay. What about Tremor? Wait. I gotta update this while I'm thinking of it. Okay, so May 25th, the carrying will go into September.
Right. Yes.
Okay, and what about Audrey Tremolay then?
She will not be submitting renewal.
She's not going to be doing anything. Okay,
No.
that answers that. Lucky girl, you.
Got a few more months.
Yeah, you get a reprieve. Well, that's good. Um,
I guess I have one more question. I guess it's just me overthinking, but I finalized the RTD and now I'm overthinking about having removed a um a grant that I might have entered twice. Um
so you
I
haven't submitted the RTD yet. I mean, you haven't submitted the.
So I literally just received an email that it was already routed to the signing official. So I don't think I can go in there and check anymore.
So wait so your SPO officer is going to submit this, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
But I
Um,
might just be overthinking it
who's your
because
SPO officer?
so it should be Valencia Teams, but it seems like he routed it to Nicole Ketchum, it seems like.
Okay.
So that might have
Okay.
been an issue right there, but I did let him know it was Valencia Teams.
Okay, no, it should go through Valencia is your OCGA person. It should go through Nicole, who's your HISPA person.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay.
hold on one quick second because I'm gonna IM her and tell her not to submit it right now.
Let me double check. So the only reason
This
why
is for
I'm
Nize.
over,
This is for Nize.
yeah, correct. So the only reason why I'm thinking that I might have not removed it was because I remember editing it and then I clicked on one to include in the RTD, but I didn't click on the other one. So but I don't think I removed one of them.
Okay,
The
well
one.
let's go in. Do you have it up right now, or do you want me to pull it up?
Let me see. I think I can pull it up really
Because you
quick.
can unfinalize them and then refinalize it. It always says,
But he already sent it in.
but it's still not transmitted though. And
Ah, okay, okay.
I just sent an IM to Nicole saying don't if she hasn't sent it to not send it. So we can
Okay,
make the
let's see.
change.
Can you guys see my screen?
Sure, yep.
Or is it the wrong screen? Let's see. Let's see. This one. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, throw Nize in there.
Okay, and it's for this one. And then I would do
Yeah, go ahead and hit
unfinalized.
yeah, let's see if it lets us do it. I'll give you chart some error message. Are you sure? Yeah, just say yes.
Okay.
Okay, then you have to go out. Okay, there we go. Then go ahead and go in the person's record.
Let me double check who it was. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yep,
So
go ahead
this
and
is the
click.
one I want.
Yeah, so go ahead and wait, that grant is not applicable or it is?
It's the same one.
Oh, got it. Okay, so just
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
delete.
the same one. Yeah, that's why I
It
was
was actually it wouldn't have been on there anyway because you didn't have include in RTD. So,
Oh,
but
okay,
it's good
okay.
to just remove it, and then that way there's no duplicate record. Okay, but one thing we should do is preview your PDF because this is like a good practice to make sure, how the PDF is going to look.
I have previewed a few of them.
Okay, good. Okay. So, I mean, from a reviewer standpoint, you just want to make sure like, everything filled out as much as possible. So, like, can we go back to Lucy Horton? I just saw her name.
Lucy.
There we
Oh,
go.
right here.
So why does it for initial position it says none?
I do not have any of that information. That's why. And I checked previous ones and there was nothing entered here as initial position either, like previous years.
Okay, so let's go out. Let's look at Lucy Horton. Let's just look her up on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, where does she currently work at? Pfizer. Okay, so let's see, when did she leave the program? She started the program 2015. She was in the program for a couple years. So
Horton. It
okay,
was
okay, so she ended in 2019, June 2019. So I'm looking at her LinkedIn and it shows from June 2019 to May 2020, she was the director of Asylum Seekers Health Screening Program at UC San Diego. So we need to go ahead and put that in as her initial position.
okay.
So it might actually stay there. No, it doesn't. So let's go ahead and add position. And then the workforce sector will be academia. Principal activity. I'm going to say research. I don't even know if that's related, or let's just say clinical, primary clinical. And then the position was just put director.
I just do director.
Yeah, there was a director when I saw, I think.
Oh, make it.
There we go. Okay. And then the start date, let's just put 6/2019. The end date was 5/2020. Primary employment indicator, I always put yes. Full time. And then the initial, that's primary initial. And then the institution just put start typing in UC San Diego and it should come up. Yeah, you have to type the whole thing out. Okay, and then your primary department. Um, I'm just put I don't know what department this is supposed to be, asylum seekers health screening program. I don't know really not think that's a department. I'm gonna just let's just put medicine there.
Medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, just add that. Okay, and then hit save. Employment position. Oh, we did put
Oh,
direct
yeah.
losers. This is why I don't like extracts sometimes.
It's a director.
There we go. Okay, now click out before you hit save. Click into a white space. There you go.
Okay.
And now hit save.
No.
Kidding me? Or maybe you have to like hit enter or something. Like it's a very funny system.
Okay. I don't know what else I did.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Oh
Yep.
wait, there. It's saving.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So now we have her initial position and current position. Sometimes it's the same, right? If the person maybe just left, their initial and current can be the same. But in this case, it should have two different positions there.
Okay.
So now what, because I have to hop off on for another call,
Yeah,
but
no worries.
now what you're going to want to do is go through the rest of your list and fill in holes for any initial positions that you're missing.
Okay.
Okay. And then, and
Um,
because I know Nicole, well, are you on Teams, Gloria?
mhm.
Okay, so I know Nicole's waiting for us to finalize this, so I can also go ahead and help you really fast fill that in.
Okay.
And then
Does Dr. Nisei have to route it again to her once?
no. Once we finalize it, it should be fine. And then
Okay, perfect.
it'll be submitted in there. So um
Okay, let me go in quick and start filling out as much as I can find, and then I'll send you a Teams message once I think
okay.
everything's good to
And
go.
actually I'll start on the list, but I'll start from the bottom of the list up. How's that? And if you start from the bottom of the bottom of the list down. And actually, they said they also need a KR record. Did Isaac, Sylvia, wasn't she supposed to do a KR record for you? A PD
Yeah,
record?
I added it onto the RPPR. There's no KR record there.
Uh, sh she said there's no PD record. Let's see.
Can I see view RPPR?
Okay,
Right
there's
here,
yeah. What does that say? 687?
68787.
68787. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so Valencia is your signing official for OCGA, but when you're submitting it, oh wait, actually that's wrong. Wait, Valencia Teams, does she work in HISPA?
Sylvia said that she was the signing official.
But then why did it go to?
I think
Oh,
he's
she is in HISPA. Okay. Anyway, we should let everybody else off the call. Um, and
sorry.
it's okay. Um, whoops. Yeah, let's let everybody else off the call. Um, can you stop sharing your screen? Sorry.
Oh, me, so sorry.
Okay, there we go. Okay. I'll be in touch. I have to log on to this other meeting right now, but
Okay.
Nicole's like one of my best friends, so I just text messaged her. So I'll leave her a voicemail right now. But like I said, why don't you start at the top of that list and I'll start at the bottom going up, and then we'll just fill out any initial positions you can find. If you can't find the information on LinkedIn or whatever, we should be able to though. So.
Okay, so just confirming it's good that I went to Nicole and not Valencia Teams.
Let me leave her a voicemail and ask her.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'll
No
message you
problem.
on Teams.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye, Maida.